Hey, Connor. You run out of batteries or what?
I'm sorry. I was making a report to CyberLife.
Well, do you plan on staying in the elevator?
No. I'm coming.
So this is Louis on the first take, and we'll see how that goes. I thought you were due a video like this because even though we've seen quite a bit of violence over the summer, it has been a combination of black people being violent under the auspices of Black Lives Matter, but also mainly white Antifa members. The rioting that we saw earlier in the year, I think, I talked about it in a video, I believe, and I made the point that there is just a serious behavioral problem and an issue with deviancy among black people in America that needs to be addressed more. And the reason it needs to be addressed is because it is incredibly disproportionate. So I am going to give you an example of exactly what I mean. Today, Aaron Besecker, who is a journalist for the Buffalo News I've been following for years, every once in a while he writes a good piece like this that talks about the violence in Buffalo. Now, Erie County is a heavily white district because this is a majority white nation. This is also upstate New York, so there's just not going to be there's not as much diversity up here as there is, say, let's say, New York City. But where there is diversity, and I mean a small amount of it, 14% to be specific about Erie County, the numbers don't match in terms of the population versus who is doing the crime. And despite the framing of this article being, Buffalo is so sad and the Dindoos didn't do nothing, and I'm sure this is Whitey's fault because Aaron is a leftist. The issue is, though, when you get into the article itself, and this is an overly long article, you get down to the brass tacks of, I'll read you this quote. According to the 2019 Census Bureau estimates, Erie County's population is 79.3% white and 14% black. During that same year, 46% of those arrested in the county were white and 43% were black. So let's stop there for a second. 14% of Erie County is black, and yet 43% of those who are being arrested, just in total, are black. That is a wild statistic, and that statistic should give anybody pause to ask, well, why is that the case? Why is this one demographic so wildly disproportionate in being represented in crime statistics, in this case being arrested? But I'll just put a pin in that. For felonies, 34% of people arrested were white, 54% black. Broken down to violent felonies, so we're talking about the worst conceivable offenses in terms of violating someone's rights, 23% were white and 64% were black. That is another layer to this issue. When it comes to the worst kind of felonies, where you are actively violating another person's rights to the degree that you're potentially taking their life, you have a population of 79.3% that are white doing 23% of the violent felonies. 80% of Erie County is white. And of that 80%, 23% of the violent felonies are done by whites. And then 64% of those committing the felonies, violent felonies, are black. So in Erie County, the neighboring county to my own, it is 664. It's not 650. It is 664. Almost 2/3 of all the violent felonies in Erie County are done by 6% of the population in that county. those numbers are unbelievable, but they are a trend for the rest of the nation, irrespective of the state, irrespective of the population, the exact breakdown. It's roughly 14% across the country, and the numbers are close to this. 664 is only slightly above the national average. And, when it comes down to it, people can be flippant about these numbers. They can make jokes and be cynical and the rest. They can make racial remarks and that. But the fact is that this is an issue of deviancy. This is an issue of deviant behavior. This is an issue of a certain demographic being unable, in large part, to behave as every other demographic does. Because, like I said, 80% white, 23% of violent felonies. It seems that in Erie County, most whites understand not to engage in violating someone's rights violently. And obviously, the numbers that are being left out of this is, well, where's the rest of these numbers here? Because 23% is a very small number, and 64 is a very big one, but it seems that there's a gap there, too. That doesn't equal 100%, so what's going on there? But I'll let you figure that one out. Like I say, though, this is unacceptable. This is wildly inappropriate. These numbers should not be what they are, but the fact is that this is reality. These are the numbers. And so it begs a certain question as it relates to, well, what is going on? And I think that it is a difference in behavior. It is a difference in deviancy about what is normal, what the average person considers normal for their actions and other people's actions. That is the difference. For certain demographics, it is inappropriate to act in a violent fashion. It is inappropriate to act in a criminal fashion. That is inappropriate. That is deviant, and it is not acceptable behavior. But for other demographics, it seemingly is far more acceptable. That's the only way this makes any sense. That's the only way that anyone, seemingly, can understand these statistics. It's the only way that we can look at what these numbers are and think, well, what's happening here? How is this possible? How is this happening? Not why or whatever else, but how. And I think the how is the acceptance of deviant behavior within these so-called communities. Because as it's said in this article, disproportionately, those targeted by those committing the most crimes are black people. So it is, as it is in many of these cities, black people victimizing other black people disproportionately. Even within a heavily white county, a disproportionate number of the victims are also black. And the reason is that this is happening within districts of the city, specifically Buffalo, that are overwhelmingly black. I know this because I worked in those districts where you are the only white person for 5 miles, where everyone in the neighborhood, everyone, absolutely everyone, including the cops, are all black. The criminals are black, their victims are black, the cops answering the call are disproportionately black. Everyone is black in this area, and it gets to the point where black people will notice you as a white person in the area and point at you and look at you and tell their neighbor about you and be like, hey, what's this white guy doing here? Because their day-to-day is living among black people to where they have to drive somewhere to find a white person. People can talk about segregation. Yeah, sure, it's self-segregation. It's very easy to move. It's very easy to get an apartment somewhere else if you can afford it. It's very easy to live somewhere other than in these shithole areas because many of them are shitty. Like I said, I've been in them and they're not nice. They're not nice places. They're places that I don't want to be because I had it happen once, and I've already told this anecdote, so I'll keep it short, where there were 2 cars shooting at each other coming down a road. I was in one of these neighborhoods where I was the only white person. Two cars came screaming down the road, and they were shooting at one another. So, passengers of one vehicle were shooting at a car following them, and the people following them, the passengers in that car, were shooting at the car in front of them, and I was on that street when it happened. I wouldn't say that it was the scariest experience of my life, but it was, probably top 10, because it only required a stray bullet to kill me. However, the police rolled in about 3 minutes after, maybe not even that long, just a few minutes after the shooting took place. The police rolled in, locked down the street, and started checking on the residents to make sure everyone was okay and they didn't get hit. And I talked to the sergeant on the scene, and he was laughing, joking, acting like, this is just a daily occurrence. And I asked the guy, do you want me to give a statement? And he just laughed and waved me away like, nah, come on. Like, what's the big deal? Because this is a daily occurrence. No one got shot, so it's a good day. And to me, that's not normal. But if you live in, that neighborhood, it's normal. It wasn't normal for me, so I didn't find it funny. But for him and the people in the area, I guess that's just the day. That's a Tuesday. It's another day in the neighborhood where there's just two cars driving down the street and shooting at each other. Wildly. Shooting off dozens of rounds at each other. That's a normal day in that neighborhood. Whether it was the residents of the area, the shooters themselves, or the police responding to the shooting, everyone in that situation saw that as normal. They saw that as just a daily occurrence that they were cavalier or flippant about. And to me, that's the issue of acceptance. Acceptance of deviant behavior. Acceptance of criminality. Acceptance of the kind of violence that, in my neighborhood, would be once in a lifetime. As far as I know, in my neighborhood, that sort of thing has never happened. I don't know if there's ever been a shooting in my neighborhood. Ever. And it's been around for an extremely long time. We're talking about more than a century. And I don't know if there's ever been a shooting in this neighborhood. I'd have to see, go into the newspaper archives to see if we can find it, because I don't think my parents have ever mentioned one word, or my grandparents have ever mentioned one word about there being violence of that sort in this neighborhood. Ever. It shouldn't be something that you would accept. But as it is, this is just really the issue of when you are accepting of deviant behavior, when you show lenience to deviant behavior, of course, you get more deviant behavior. And it starts with fatherlessness, or having children out of wedlock, or joblessness. It starts with that. It starts with the culture of that area degenerating to such a point that having a broken home is normal. Having crime on the street is normal. I think it is a chicken and egg scenario, but I think that definitively the family falling apart and the acceptance of that is the bedrock. That is the egg. And what hatches from it is the level of criminality. So when it comes to the left-wing journos, there is no putting the genie back in the bottle, because we have accepted the deviant behavior of broken homes, fatherlessness, shiftlessness, etc. We have accepted the degeneration of this area, this neighborhood, these neighborhoods. We've accepted the level of deviancy that exists there on that level. So, naturally, it only continues further to degenerate. And that is where you can have a situation such as it is, where there is an extreme and disproportionate. And when I say disproportionate level of violence, it is to such a degree that this level of violence is utterly absent in other areas of the same county. It just doesn't exist in these other neighborhoods. But in these neighborhoods, it's all over the place. It's every day. It's through and throughout. And this is just a common occurrence, to the degree where officers are just, laughing about it because no one got shot this time during the day. No one got shot, so it's a good day. These criminals that are out of like a fucking movie from the 20s managed to miss each other. So today is a good day. And I'm sorry, that to me is not acceptable. It's not acceptable for that to be the case. Because it wouldn't be in my neighborhood with my neighbors or my police. If the police showed up after something like this occurred and were totally flippant about it, like just checking the residence, making sure nobody was hit, and then laughing it off, I can't imagine that I or anyone else in terms of my neighbors, that we would find that behavior appropriate for the police officers to be engaging in. Like, they're not taking any testimony. They're just going to roll in and roll out. No one got shot. All right, laugh it off. Let's roll out. I can't imagine that any of us, and I'm including you in this, unless you live in one of these neighborhoods, I can't imagine that any of us would find that acceptable, that kind of behavior from police. But as far as I can tell, a few too many officers are like that in Buffalo. I've talked about this in the past, the sort of very strange, chill behavior of Buffalo police. And I've encountered asshole cops that take their job way too seriously. I've talked about that in Niagara Falls. Dealt with one officer that was like that. In Niagara Falls, this isn't much better in terms of violence, but this was not that kind of neighborhood that this guy was in, being overly serious with me. But I never complain about that. That guy, really gave me a hard time. But as I said on the stream when I talked about this, I'm never going to begrudge an officer for being thorough in their investigation, even if it is an inconvenience or hassle for me. I'm not going to give shit to an officer when he's trying to do his job in a thorough way and he's just a little bit impolite about it. That's my grievance. Maybe just be a little bit more professional, a little bit more polite. But I'm not going to begrudge you for being thorough with me, not knowing who I am or why I'm there, because that's not my neighborhood, and I'm loitering in that deal, and maybe some people have questions about that. I'm not going to begrudge you for trying to figure out what's happening, because that's your job. It's very likely someone called you there, and all you're doing is answering the call and conducting an investigation. There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. That's what you should do in that situation. Not show up, or if you do, be overly lax about the situation. Being overly lax or lenient in policing, to me, is what leads to the degeneration of a neighborhood. To me, that is proven at this point. But the issue is that you can be a by-the-book cop. You can be as professional as you need to be, as we all imagine is our ideal. But if there is no father in the home, and basically you as an agent of the state act as the father, then unfortunately the circumstances are what they are, and what it leads to is situations like I'm going to show you. I have a video to show you. This comes from Donut Operator. He played this video, and obviously with him, he's never going to get into the racial issue, but I'm going to in this. I'm going to talk about the racial components of this video, because to me, they're clear as day. It's so obvious to me that a major aspect of this video is the racial components of it. Because there's just one too many lines in this video that showcase everything that's wrong in American society. It's not the police. It's not whitey. It's black people. They have a problem with deviancy, the acceptance of deviancy. And the issue is, what is required in this situation is not more police, and it's not the state acting as the father, as the patriarch. What is required are fathers. Are fathers to teach normalcy, to teach normal behavior. And when people start acting askew as they grow up, if their behavior becomes abnormal, their father can crack the whip, scold the women, maybe a slap to the back of the head of the boys, and teach normal behavior, acceptable behavior. That is the missing component in all of this. That is where all of this starts. Because with that missing, we have what we have. I think that this is a direct correlation of the issue of not having guidance in your life to teach you acceptable behavior. And that everyone surrounding this neighborhood, everyone around the area, everyone in the nation, just expand it out to all these, the cities and the surrounding areas. It includes all of us. We are all guilty of accepting the degeneration of these neighborhoods, in lying about the circumstances that have led to this reality. We lie and we claim that it's everything but what it is, which is the fact that you have people kids growing up in broken homes, becoming adults that don't understand how to behave. They don't know how to be normal. They accept the unacceptable. Those around them accept the unacceptable. The powers that be, the state agents, accept the unacceptable until the very end, where they have no choice but to be violent in protection of their own lives and others. They're pushed to that end, and so they have no other choice. But all the while, they're accepting of this behavior. And I will put the onus as well on every one of you every day, that whenever I do a video like this, or I tweet something out on Twitter, and I say that leniency is leading to all of this, all of you fucking faggots that scold me, that say, no, Louis, you're wrong, open the prisons, it's nothing but stoners that we need to let out into society, it's nothing but that, so open the prisons. No, leniency is what has led to all of this. You are not correcting this behavior. You're not doing anything to prevent recidivism of this behavior. You're just opening the prisons and, wiggling your nose, Bewitched style, thinking that magic is going to fucking solve this. You think that your idiotic, selfish compassion is going to do fuck all about this situation, when the issue isn't compassion or leniency. It is lack of discipline. Lack of responsibility. That is what is responsible for all of this. And you continuing to do the same thing and abdicate, at least criticizing the behavior, you're just making more of this. You're equally guilty of this. Because at the very minimum, you can just say that leniency isn't the answer, because as reality shows, it isn't. Leniency doesn't do anything to help this situation whatsoever. And you can mask your craven attitude as compassion, but in my view, it's like I said, it's selfish. You're just trying to protect yourself from being labeled a racist or whatever, out of fear, rather than offer the guidance that you should be, which is this behavior is unacceptable. We should all demand better, and the issue is not on police, because they're acting instead of the fathers. They're there pretending to be fathers. The state has basically taken up the role as being the father in these neighborhoods, when what is needed is not leniency, it is discipline from patriarchs, from fathers. We need fathers in the home raising kids and showing these kids, showing these people how to be normal. That is what's needed. It is a return to normalcy. Because I believe that we all should be moral equals, that we all should be equally responsible in our behavior and in our actions. I think that is possible, but what is required is that we be honest about the situation that is occurring before us, and that the numbers don't lie, and that the numbers, being what they are not the fault of Whitey. Because if it were, why wouldn't this be replicated in the areas that are not heavily black? Why wouldn't the numbers be proportionate to the demographic breakdown of the county? Whatever county happens to be, whatever city we're talking about, why wouldn't the statistics match up if this was an issue that was somehow Whitey's fault? The answer is that it isn't. This is coming from these areas that are disproportionately black. And one of the things that I hope to solve by talking about this and by showing you this video is that I would like less black victims. I want less people being victimized in these areas. Because that's the thing that everyone's turning a blind eye to when we're all talking about this. Everyone's turning a blind eye to the victims who are disproportionately black. So everyone's out there saying Black Lives Matter, but the issue is, do the lives of these victims, do they matter? Because those are who are being most affected. It isn't the joggers getting shot by police. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck about them, and no one should. I'll argue this with anybody I meet, whether it's you on my Twitter account, somebody on Discord, or even my own parents. I'll argue this until I'm blue in the face, that the lives that matter are the innocent victims, the people just trying to do right by themselves, their families, and everyone in their community. They're just trying to do right. They're trying to act normal and be upright. They're trying to live a normal life. They're being victimized by these deviants. And what I want is for less deviants to be victimizing these innocents. There are a disproportionate number of black people being victimized. And so if you allege to care about blacks, then you should care about these victims. You should care about these people who are being victimized by the deviants. And so I will say, before we get to the video, criminal lives don't matter. The lives of innocents do. They don't deserve what is happening to them. And I stand with them, and I stand opposed to, against the deviants. Their lives don't matter, because that's how they view those they victimize. Nut up. Find your fucking balls. If you want, I can take them out of your wife's purse, your girlfriend's purse, your mother's purse. Find your fucking balls and stand up to those that deserve our protection against those that seek to harm them for their own gratification, whether they're psychopaths or for material gain because they're shiftless scum. Just the greatest example came out today. And no, I'm not talking about, I had a bunch of people send me the article about lovely Warren in Rochester going down. That's just, a Democrat going down for corruption in New York. Wow, it's a Thursday, or is it Friday? I don't even know what day it is. It's another day in the week in New York when you have a Democrat politician going down for felony corruption charges. And I would imagine she's black, and she's a black Democrat in a heavily Democrat district in New York. She's a mayor of Rochester. I would be surprised if she sees a day in jail. Anyone, maybe some dickhead that's part of her campaign, 2 other people went down with her. Maybe they'll do jail time, but her, I doubt it. I really doubt it. It's New York after all. Come on. But it's not that. The story of the day is Rick Moranis, this unbelievably meek, polite, small guy. This is not a hard dude. This is an old actor, a soft guy who is just walking around New York at 7 a.m. and some jogger wearing a I Love New York hoodie, which I can't even believe a New Yorker in the first place would wear. What New Yorker in their right mind would actually wear an I Love New York hoodie? A black hoodie, of all things. It's poetic, honestly. But this jogger, just for no reason other than what is implied, which I imagine it could be for what his motivations were, just decks Rick Moranis in the fucking face. Just in such a craven way. In such a way that is so stereotypical. Really. Doesn't square up, as irrational as it is. Doesn't even square up with the dude. Just decks him in the fucking face and runs away. And as far as I know, they still haven't fucking caught this guy because it's New York and he's probably hiding in the basement of Bill de Blasio. Bill de Blasio's shielding him from justice because that is just the case of New York City as it is. It is a degenerating shithole of a city. And I have listeners that live there, and you can shield yourself as much as you want and pretend that you live in some cushy part of Brooklyn and that this is never going to affect you. But the fact is that the longer you have somebody like Bill de Blasio in office, where he has leashed the police, eventually this is going to reach you. I mean, if you're white, I mean, like I've already said, if you're black too, you're going to get hit by this. You're going to be victimized by this disproportionately, as it is in Buffalo. We should all care about this, and we should want and expect better of everyone. We should want everyone in this country to act in a normal way. If two people, because they got in some kind of argument or they have some sort of grievance with one another, want to square up and have a fist fight, fine. As long as both people are willing to engage in the violence, I think that two people should be allowed to square up and fist fight, so long as it doesn't get down to the point where you're beating someone into a coma. Okay, then you break it up. But I don't have a problem with consensual violence. The issue is actions like this, where Rick Moranis, like I said, a small, older gentleman, a very meek guy, is just trying to walk down the street, down the sidewalk in New York City, and some degenerate, deviant piece of shit just walks up and sucker punches him in the face with no cause, no warning, no nothing. No reason at all, totally irrational, just does it. For reasons that I'll let you speculate about as to why. I think there's an obvious reason why he probably did it. But the fact is he did what he did. And is this acceptable? Because to me it's not. I think that we need to say that this is unacceptable behavior and that anyone who does it is not a victim. They are a deviant. And they should be stuck in a cell, they should be warehoused there, and they should be left to rot. And as they're being led to jail, we should all be spitting on them, condemning them, and attempting to socialize them in such a capacity to the best that we can do as an angry mob, as opposed to wherever the fuck this degenerate's father is. Maybe he's also in jail, so maybe he can hook up there and get some guidance with his father, who's also in prison for equivalent behavior. But in the meantime, it's going to be up to us to socialize this piece of shit to hopefully do something different once he's out of prison. Do different to what you've done before. Don't commit a second crime. Because how you're behaving currently is unacceptable. It's abnormal. It is deviant. It's unacceptable. The question is, will we do that? Are we willing to do that? Are we willing to put social pressure on a particular demographic to act better? To stop this abnormal behavior? Because New York City, man, it is out of control. It is out of control. I mean, it's not just New York City. It's Buffalo, it's Rochester, it's Syracuse. There's been disproportionate violence all over New York State, and I highly doubt any state's different, really. The violence since the beginning of the year has just been crazy. And since the beginning of the year, not only has the violence existed, but the journalists have been doing everything in their capacity to shield all of us, the audience, the residents. They have been trying to shield us from the truth, which is that this violence this year has been disproportionate. And it has been disproportionate from one demographic. We're no longer in the territory of 650 anymore. It's 650 and climbing. And we should really know that. You should really inform us about that. And it's why I appreciate the article by Aaron here, because at least out of everything, of the framing of the innocent Dindus, at least give us the truth about what is happening, about what the numbers really are. And I'm hoping that if we know the numbers, if we know the truth, we should be demanding better. You should be the moral equivalence of everyone else. The numbers should be even. Obviously, the racial demographics are what they are, but in terms of criminal behavior, they should be equal in number. Everyone's behavior should be equal. There should be no disproportionate numbers anywhere. And if it is, it's 1-2% at most. That's what they should be. And then we can concentrate on deviant behavior in general. And I'm more than willing to do that because I don't find any deviant behavior acceptable, regardless of what the person's skin pigmentation is. But So long as the numbers are what they are, we have to focus, we have to concentrate on where the concentration of violence is, who it's coming from, and who's being victimized, as I've already said. Anyways, let's get to this video.
You lying bitch, because I never been to New Britain. I never been to no fucking New Britain. You fucking lying. I want your fucking badge number. You're going down. I got that shit on camera. You're going down. You lying bitch. You fucking liar.
Bitch, you dropped the dollar, ma'am.
You really gonna sit there and lie? Everything I do is legit. Everything I do is legit. Everything I fucking do is legit.
You need to relax.
Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to talk to you. I want your fucking badge number. I want your badge number. Badge number. You are gonna be on administrative leave. Badge fucking number. Now. Now. You will go on administrative leave effective immediately.
What
Now.
happened? I don't know. It was reported as stolen, but
Now.
I guess she's the
I'm not
registered
Miss
owner.
Thompson. I'm Sydney
So
Ransom.
how's the register stolen?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
So in this situation, we have an issue of miscommunication and error. This woman's car has been reported stolen. The police have stopped her to figure out what's going on. They've established that she is, by all accounts, the legal owner of the vehicle, so they're confused as to what's going on. Who filed it as being stolen, whether it is stolen or not, and whether she regained possession, or what exactly is going on. They're unsure of the circumstances of what's going on in terms of the possession of this vehicle. It's just a matter of confusion and error. But the issue is, while there are plenty of police attempting to resolve the situation, the person in question is acting in an abnormal capacity. This could all be fixed within a minute or two, but the issue is the behavior of one side and then the behavior of the other side.
You got the hot sheet?
He's grabbing all the money for nothing. Everybody has
351. 351. Zulu, you can put me around the 1700 park on I-75.
Well, my daughter in the car. My daughter's not even
10 more times.
Now we have established that this woman, this hysterical woman, has her child in the car. A normal person wouldn't act this way. They wouldn't want to show this side of themselves to their child. No normal parent would want to behave like this in front of their child. It's not acceptable. In many ways, this is an entirely unacceptable way to behave in front of your child. This is not responsible parenting. And even in the case that there wasn't a child, obviously we all know that this would still be unbelievably unacceptable behavior. But we now elevate this to, my kid is in the car. Why are you acting like this when your child is in the car, obviously watching you? Obviously watching you behave this way. This, to me, is the whole thing. This is the beginning and the end of this entire situation. And I have to say that it's too bad that there wasn't an actual man in this situation to step up and say to his wife / girlfriend / partner / whatever, even your big brother, your daddy, anybody, any man in this situation, to say, you're being hysterical, fucking shut up. Shut up, woman. You're being hysterical. Do I have to slap you like fucking whoever, Ronald Reagan in that one movie? Shut up. Stop being overly emotional. You're just making this situation worse when obviously there's an error. Let's straighten this out and be on our way. Shut up.
77.
No, he wasn't. No,
Ledger at Catherine, 5934, please.
Can I make keys, please? Stop fucking checking my VIN number.
10-4.
You know this is the car, you fucking prick. Jay Light
Can we show her that? Can we just show her that it's on the list of stolen?
Yeah,
if she wants. Hey, what's her name?
Have my stuff.
What's her name?
Wait for shit.
Ma'am. Ma'am. Ma'am.
I have my stuff.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Can I have my
Ma'am,
stuff?
I
What
need you
is
to
your
step over
cause
here.
for
Come here.
talking to me?
Come here. Come here.
I don't have
want
to
to show
talk to you.
I want to show
I'm
you
not
something.
under arrest.
I'm trying to show you. Listen.
show you that your
See your
car
car
is
right here, ma'am?
innocent.
See it's on red.
Stolen.
You see AW8.
There's no possible way you just did that in the
Listen.
system.
No.
There's no fucking possible way. My car has
She's
never,
literally
ever
not gonna
been
know.
reported stolen. Ever.
Well,
Ever.
listen. We're trying to tell you. We're trying to tell you.
No, the fuck it hasn't. Leave me alone. No, it hasn't. Never in life has it
Christ.
ever. Everything is in my name. How
Listen,
the fuck could it be
We're trying
stolen?
to show you why we
That's some
stopped it. That's
bullshit
it.
system you did.
No,
Did you make up the
listen,
numbers?
No, listen.
Where'd you get the numbers from?
All right, I'm done. I'm done.
Your registration, man.
The fuck? Hold it. There's
Can't
no
talk to
fucking
somebody
way my
that's
car's stolen.
literally. We're past that. We're past it.
Give
We're
me
past
my
that.
stuff back so I can go.
It's reported as stolen.
Okay, but it's mine. You see I'm the owner.
Would you let me talk? If you're the
Sure.
owner, we'll take it out of the system and we'll have you on your way.
Perfect.
But
What are you
that's
gonna
why
do it?
we're confirming that you're the owner.
What else do you need?
To run you in the
What
system
else
to
do
make
you
sure this
need?
car is registered
I'm
to
getting
you.
the fuck out of
All
here.
right?
Give me my fucking registration and my insurance now.
Ma'am, stay.
Give
Ma'am.
me my registration and insurance. Give me my registration and insurance.
Can we?
Alright, 19 go.
You're not gonna give it to
Listen,
me.
ma'am.
You're not gonna give it to me.
Ma'am.
You're not gonna give it to me.
Ma'am.
Your radio's terrible.
Can you please come over here? Just let them do what they gotta do, and then you'll be on your way.
Give me my shit.
What's your
Tired of
name?
you cops. Tired of you cocksuckers. I hope y'all all go to hell. I can't wait till Hartford has this fucking riot.
I said I love Jesus, so that's not happening.
The fuck? I bet it will. Soon enough, it's already written. You read the Bible?
I do read the Bible. I
No,
don't school the Bible.
it's already written.
Don't even bother. Don't even bother.
It's already fucking written.
Don't even
Let's
bother.
talk about it.
Oh, so she's a Calvinist.
Yes, I'm all of that. Whatever you want me to be. Militant too.
Okay.
8867,
Jesus, I don't got
I don't
issues
give a
with
fuck if I'm getting my registration.
I don't have your registration.
So get it from your
Step on
president.
4.
Her car's in the system is stolen.
I don't care. You see it's me. You see I'm the owner. What are we doing? What
We
are
have
we
to run
doing?
it. We have to run it. We have to do a protocol.
What are you doing? No, I don't want to talk to you.
Stand over
I'll
there.
just leave.
No, you can't leave. You can't.
It's my car. I can absolutely.
Ma'am.
Like, do you have the keys?
Ma'am, get out of the car. What are you doing? Stay over there. 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 Stay over there.
And now you have big Mr. Gentle Giant coming in, interfering in what's happening. Not on behalf of the police that are just trying to square away this error in the system. Someone filed this car as stolen. They don't know what's happening. They're just trying to figure this out. They're just trying to make sure it's not actually stolen, and who it's in possession of currently is the owner, and that it's not stolen. And if it was listed as stolen, who filed it? What happened? Did you reacquire this car? Is that what happened? Did you file this? Did you not? If somebody did, who did? Why? What happened? There's questions that have been raised. They're just trying to conduct an investigation. And now, as she's trying to leave the area, despite being detained, this is a stop. She is detained. They're performing an investigation. She's not free to leave so long as they're performing their investigation, and it's obviously not concluded. They still don't know what's going on. She attempts to probably just roll away. I don't think she even had her keys. I didn't hear the engine turn over or anything like that, so I think she just put it in reverse and was rolling away for some stupid reason. So as they're trying to keep her there and say, hey, hold on, you can't leave, we need to figure out what's going on, you got this guy attempting to interfere in the investigation. And he's squaring up to them. He's going, whoa, what's going on? Anything like, no, he's, hey, what are you doing? Let me square up to you. Like, I'm going to fucking fight you over this shit. She's a queen, and I'm going to fucking save her. She's in the wrong. And by the way, I don't understand, outside of race solidarity, this woman is ugly. Not just on the outside, but as a person. This is somebody at their worst. And why are you squaring up to the police over this woman? As far as I can tell, it's just some race solidarity bullshit. And what can I say other than I would never do this. I don't find this person's behavior acceptable. And in this situation where the police are so, they're stuck in this awkward situation, they're making jokes about Christianity and Calvinism and shit. Their hands are tied. What can they fucking do but crack jokes and try to bring levity to an otherwise ugly situation? You got this guy rolling in, acting tough, squaring up, mouthing off, trying to defend his queen. When she's not a queen, she's an ugly, deviant piece of shit. She's a bad mother, too, by the way.
I'm not going to tell you again. Stay over there.
No!
Get out of the car.
Fuck! It's my car and it's not stolen!
Listen, watch out.
It's my car!
Let out of the car.
I don't give a fuck!
Put it in park.
It's my car!
Yo, what are you doing?
It's my car!
Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
It's
Get out of the car.
And it's not stolen!
Get out of the car. Stay over there. I'm not telling you. Stay over there. Stay over there. Stay over there. Get back. Get back. Get back.
No! My daughter's in here! Leave me the fuck alone!
Stay over there.
Leave me alone! Sister, leave me alone!
I'm not going to tell you this. Stay right there.
Step out.
Leave my sister alone!
It's gonna be a
Yeah, it's gonna be a fucking problem!
Stay back. Stay back.
Step out.
Leave my sister alone!
And now you have this geriatric piece of shit on the sidewalk saying, if you want to fight, you're going to get a fight. You see? Is this video illustrative enough to you yet? Is this illuminating to you, enlightening enough to you yet? Of a continuation of bad behavior, an acceptance of bad behavior, that as this person is moving her car around, and I guess she does have her keys, I don't hear the engine or anything. She's jerking her car back and forth, going backwards and forwards, while the police are demanding, issuing her orders, commanding her to step out of the vehicle. Because who's to say that she's not going to run over this old cocksucker who's standing on the fucking sidewalk threatening police? Who's to say she's not going to injure people while she's acting this recklessly, as she is hysterical, obviously? The problem is not the police in this situation. It is everyone else. It is everyone else in this situation who are defending this woman for her totally unacceptable behavior, for her deviant behavior. You are all wrong. She is wrong. And the police are simply trying to resolve a situation that has been created not because of them, but because of error. Someone filed a false report about this car. They're simply trying to resolve the situation. They are just doing their jobs. Their jobs are investigating crimes. The car in question has been listed as stolen. It's on their records as stolen. They don't think it's stolen. They think it's in error. But they need to resolve the error in order to let you leave. That is the problem. And the issue is simple compliance. That is the entire issue within this situation, is simple compliance. And while this woman is acting in a fashion that no sane person, she's acting in a way that no one in their right mind would act. No one that's not a deviant would accept this kind of behavior or would behave in this way. But all the while, everyone in the area is mouthing off to the cops and encouraging this woman in their behavior. They're encouraging this woman to continue this unbelievable and deeply irresponsible, again, her kid's in the fucking car, this deeply irresponsible behavior. The problem is not the police. And if you think it is, you are simply hiding from the truth. You are denying the reality of this situation. In so many situations that mirror this one. This is a simple fucking mistake that can be rectified easily if only one side of the situation, and everyone on the fucking block, we can lump them in, if only one person in the situation would comply at all, this could be solved and everyone would leave this situation. But the problem is that one party will not act in a normal, fashion. One person won't act as any normal person would in this situation. If I were in this situation, for example, I would be flummoxed. I would be like, my car is listed as stolen. What? I didn't do that. How? How did that happen? Because, this is only in my name. How could that happen? Well, sir, step out of the car. Let's see some ID, whatever information you can provide, and we'll get you on your way. Of course. Yeah, sure. Whatever you want. I'm flummoxed. I can't believe this is happening. This is so strange. Yeah, we're not sure what happened on our end, too. Well, whatever you need to know, I'll tell you. I can bring you to my house. I got the title at my house. You can see it. It's in my name. Well, I'm sure it won't come to that. I'm sure we can clear this up just based on what you got now, and we'll try to get you out of our system. Oh, okay, no, whatever you need. Because I don't want somebody else pulling me over and we have to do this whole thing all over again. Yeah, don't worry. We'll handle it. That could be the conversation. That would be the conversation if I were the person in the vehicle. Especially if it were my kid. I'm a father. Well, I want to set a good example for my son or daughter. Well, I'll cooperate with whatever you need. You think you would want to set a good example for them. You think you would want to be as cooperative, friendly, productive, concise. You would think about, how do I want my son or daughter to behave? How do I want them to act in this similar situation? Well, I'll show them how. I will play that role. I will perform to the specificities of the behaviors that I desire to give to my children, to teach them. I'll imbue them in myself, and I'll behave that way. Because that's the responsible thing to do. That's the morally right thing to do. That is the normal thing to do. But this person is behaving abnormally.
Ma'am!
Baby, put the car in park,
Put
baby.
the car in park.
Put the car in park, baby. Put it in the car.
You guys back up.
Back up, back up, back up. Get behind the curb. I'm not telling you to get back.
Let it be alone.
Back up.
Sit down, baby. Calm down.
What are you doing? Get back.
Let's go.
My car. Leave me alone. I have my daughter here. Leave me alone. Just like him. Don't tell me to step back. We here. We here for our sister.
No, that's fine. We're trying to listen. We're trying to run the protocol. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Get behind the curb. Get behind the curb. Back up. Back up, ma'am. Ma'am, stay back. Stay back. Stay back, please. Please stay back. We got. Listen. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get back. Get behind. Get behind. Get back. Get back. Get back. Relax. Relax. Get back. I'm not gonna tell you get back. Get back.
I'll have to say, again, to our gentle giant friend here, I'm not one to talk about getting emotional. I'm a pretty temperamental person as well. But you, with this fake-ass squaring up to cops and shit, you're acting like a woman. I don't know if this is what happens when you're raised by women, but because that's not really my experience in life, so I don't know. But you're acting like a fucking faggot. You're not acting like a man would. You're acting like, I would assume, somebody raised by a woman would. Stop acting like a faggot and just accept that she's acting in an inappropriate fashion. That's all this is. And if you were going to square off and throw a punch at the cops, you already would have, you fucking pussy. So, stop.
Look what they doing to her.
She's not listening. Get back.
So what? I'm not listening. What the fuck?
Stay back.
What the fuck you gonna do? I'm not listening.
Bro.
Fuck the police. Y'all niggas crazy. Y'all gonna do that to a female.
My sister.
She made her decision. Stay back. I'm not. Oh my God. I'm not worried about it. I'm not. Stay over there. Stay over there. All right. All right. Back up. 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 Back up.
Yo, you don't need that many.
Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up.
Why is there not a female officer?
Back up.
Listen.
Guys, back up. Back up. Listen. They got trying to calm her down. Relax.
So you need to tell them that she can't breathe, man. They need to help her, man.
She's trust me. They're doing what they gotta do. Step back. Step back. Step back.
Okay, I'm gonna record because
That's fine. That's fine. Record all you got once. But stay. Record, but stay on the curb. Stay on the curb.
I'm right here. That's fine.
We good. I'm gonna offer two, bro. It's not right. It's not needed for all this extra stuff.
I'm an officer too. This is not needed for all this. We need to just calm down. Why is there no female cops out here?
This guy is just lying, and doing so in a brazen way that he could get arrested for. It is a crime to present yourself as an officer, to misrepresent yourself as a police officer. That is a crime. If I'm not mistaken, it's a fucking felony. So we got some, high IQ behavior right here.
Why is there not a female cop out here? Why is there not a female cop out here?
All of these men and
We need a female cop out here.
Just step back.
Just relax.
Just step back. Step back. Step back.
Just relax. Just relax.
Anyone else?
Just relax. Sit down and stay still.
Yeah, baby, calm down. Calm down.
What I love is that this picture here of no matter how poor you are, no matter how broke you are, no matter how oppressed you are, everyone in the fucking ghetto has a fucking iPhone. Everyone has a fucking smartphone. Everyone's broke. Everyone's being kept down by the white man, but everyone has $1,000 fucking phone. Come on. I just can't stand this. It's just every person, regardless of their social status, everyone has a fucking $1,000 fucking cell phone, and I don't. My phone I bought like 3 years ago. I need a new one. And it was $100. Fucking...
I mean, now she got to see who's ready in the restraints. You got to calm down.
I'm ready to make it my way. From 31 and 12, if you guys can make your way to 9 Willis on the 6375. White female blonde hair wearing a white shirt and jeans. Black male wearing a gray sweater and jeans in the building, refusing to leave. CJ in the supervisor, 1040.
Get off of me! Get off of me! Stop kicking! Get off of me! Here, I'll go the other way.
Oh my God, this is fucking ridiculous.
I mean, right now they don't need. They can't. The female officer wouldn't even work. She's not. She's not cooperating.
Get off of me, man!
Are you a relative? I thought you said you were his sister.
That is my sister.
So the little girl's in the car.
And that's your brothers? That's my sister.
There's a little girl in the car.
That's not my name.
Well, you're saying that's your sister, so I would suggest go over there. What the fuck, man? A whole kid in the car.
And there is just another classic line for us all to hear. Didn't you say you were a sister? She's got a kid in the car. Well, that's not my fucking problem. Oh, man, just put that in fucking neon. Put that on the side of a fucking blimp and fly it over whatever fucking neighborhood this is. Fly it over Rochester, fly it over Buffalo, fly it over any majority black neighborhood, honestly. As blunt as I need to say that. Or as it needs to be said. She's got a kid in the car. Well, I don't give a fuck. It's not my kid. Well, isn't that just a fucking story of the issues in black neighborhoods? A lot of fucking fathers saying that in black neighborhoods. Well, maybe my fucking kid, but that's not my problem. Oh, well, I think that's your problem. I do think it is your problem. I think that's the problem with black people in America. Is that, You have no sense of responsibility. You have no sense of ownership of anything. That when you are pushed in terms of paths to take in life, you always take the path of the most reckless and irresponsible behavior conceivable. And obviously, hashtag not all, but fuck, man, are we getting close in terms of those numbers out there? We are getting close. So, what can I say? Maybe the right thing to do in this situation, maybe the right path to take, let me as the white savior take your hand and guide you. Maybe be responsible in this situation. Maybe you offer to call the baby daddy or the grandfather or somebody that can take responsibility for the kid. Maybe that's what you do. Instead of the police calling them, you say, well, hold on, I don't really know her, she's a stranger, but let me see if I can find out from her when she's done being hysterical who her dad is, what his number is, or somebody, the grandmother, whoever, uncle, sister, fucking aunt, somebody. Let me find somebody that can play the role as of a guardian for the kid. I will call them. We'll get them down here, and we can get this kid picked up. That way, you don't have to do it, and we don't have to make a thing about that as well, that I'll do that. That would be a responsible thing to do. But no, the second it's questioned, hey, she's got a kid in the car, are you her sister? She just walks the fuck away. Not my problem!
Call your supervisor. Where's he at? Go get him. Go get him. No, I want to talk to him first.
Ma'am,
Let me talk to him first. Supervisor! I can't breathe. Can you call an ambulance?
In private, Sargon of Akkad, otherwise known as Don Carlos, has given me some of his opinions about the United States and components of it. And I'll just say this. I won't give his exact opinion, but I will say and imply that her behavior, he thinks, is a bit representative. The rudeness, the obnoxiousness, the volume, and just the ugliness. That it's a bit too representative, and that maybe that plays into certain statistics about the attractiveness of black females. Like I said, I won't give the exact words, but I will just heavily imply what has been said. And the issue is, in terms of foreigners, what do you think they think about black people in America? What do you think they think? So you got all these, bourgeois foreigners who claim that, oh man, in America, black people are oppressed. But when they watch videos like this, is that what they really think, truly? We all know what they're going to say in public, the foreigners. But is that what they really think, though? Is that what they think about black people in America when they see videos like this? Because I think a lot of foreign people, despite what they might say, I get the feeling that in terms of what I've said in this, the way they feel is probably much harsher. There's probably a lot more condemnation in terms of what they think than what I'm saying here. Because unfortunately, what can I say? Behavior is what it is, and the point I make in this is that it is disproportionate, and it shouldn't be. And I can say this as somebody who's still unemployed. But obviously the old guy is not employed. I highly doubt that. But in terms of everybody else who's still within the working age, how many of these people do you think have jobs to just be standing around loitering like this? I'm just going to touch on that and leave it alone.
Stay back, stay back, stay back, stay back!
Are you serious right now?
Take that badge off.
We want y'all badge numbers right here. We want y'all badge numbers. We want y'all badge numbers. What's your badge number? What's your name, sir?
Oh, she's arrived! Thank God! White savior! White savior! It's a white woman, a short white woman, and she's here to save the day! Thank God for the white woman that has arrived to film stupidly like everybody else and put this shit on social media so she could virtue signal how fucking woke she is.
ones that's doing it, we want their
Yeah,
badge.
we want them names and badge numbers. Y'all got a problem. Y'all gonna have a problem.
351, I'm out here. I'm stepping out.
Y'all look at y'all slums. Y'all about to break
Stay
her
back!
foot. Look at
Stay
her
back!
foot.
Stay
Y'all about
back!
to break
Stay
her
back!
foot.
Back up!
Y'all about to break
Get on the
her
curb!
foot.
Get on the curb!
Y'all about to break
Get
her
on the
foot.
curb!
Y'all about to break her foot. Y'all close her foot in the door. I don't care.
Stay back! Stay back! Get on the curb! Boss, get on the curb!
Y'all close her foot in the fucking door.
I'm not gonna tell you one more time. Stay on the curb.
What you mean? I got it on tape. What you talking about? I don't care. I'm not gonna stop yelling none of that. Y'all gonna hear me today.
For the record, I just would like to say that for the black women out there, we can all hear you. You don't have to, speak louder. We can all hear you. No matter how far we are away, we can hear you. Okay? Just so that's clear. Speaking as, not necessarily an advocate, but as a representative of whites, we can hear you. Don't worry.
Put that shit down. That's what I said. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, car coming up. Handle the crowd on the west side. Pull right up.
Y'all hurting her. Put her in the ambulance. Put her in the ambulance. So stop them. Put her in the ambulance. Put her in the ambulance. Put her in the ambulance.
Driving the car away with her daughter in it. Smart. Smart.
She's scared. Look at how much of y'all to her. What do you mean? She's scared. Yo, what the fuck is you doing here?
Dude, go back to your mom, you fucking gigantic faggot. Shut up. God. Oh, just... Mama's boy, mama's boy. So many of you boys are mama's boys.
Going to the ambulance guy.
Get that cruiser out of here with the female one.
What's your badge number? Everybody that jumped down her. What's your badge number? Everybody that jumped down her.
What's your badge number?
We want everybody that jumped on her. We want your badge number.
All of them badge numbers.
So that is the end of the video, thank God. But I'm sure that situation continued on for another fucking 20 minutes. However, considering how long this video is gone, I'm just going to keep it short in summarizing this, because I believe I've already said what I've needed to say. Because this all comes down to behavior. And when you stray from acceptable behavior and you become a deviant, I think that those of us that are normal should tell you to stop acting in a deviant manner. Stop acting in a way that is unacceptable, whether it's in terms of just polite society or lawful behavior. When you go as far as crossing the boundary of the law, which happened in this situation as far as I can tell. They may have arrested her for disorderly conduct. I'm not exactly sure. If I researched this a little bit more, maybe I'd find whether she was actually charged or not. At this point in time, she probably wasn't, because they'd be afraid there was going to be a riot as a direct result of this video. But I will say that irrespective of whether she was charged or not, her behavior was unacceptable. The behavior of those loitering and gawking and rubbernecking when it comes to the situation, and screaming and bitching and all that, filming on their fucking $1,000 iPhones in the ghetto. Shape up. Get a job. Stop acting in a deviant manner. And stay with your family. Raise your children. And do so in a way that is responsible. I was going to say socially acceptable, but it doesn't have to be that. Just raise your children in a responsible way, and you will find yourself living a far easier life. You will find yourself living a far more fulfilling life where you don't interact with police at all because you're not doing anything that would involve you with the police. You can complain about, we're being stopped by the racist police and all that bullshit, that bullshit myth of we're getting stopped because we're black. You can avoid these sort of situations if you behave normally. Very easy to avoid these kind of situations. All that it requires is that you aren't a deviant. that you don't engage in deviant behavior. Do that, and all of a sudden, the white supremacy of America dissipates. It disappears. It's gone. It was ethereal in the first place, but even to that point, it disappears. So long as you act normally. Some might say you act white. I'm not necessarily saying that, but some people do say that. When you act white, you don't have any problems in life. But when you act as a deviant, well, then you're treated as one. Because you're not behaving normally. And that's all there is to it. So, thanks for listening.
Just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids. Come on, man. I mean, come on. Take a look at the record. I know a lot of weed smokers. Come on, man. Black, white, all colors, all backgrounds. But I mean, come on, man. Men, women, gay.